14 minutes to 7 on this Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us here on Morning News today. Now, a newly launched app is giving African writers a platform to share their stories. The Book Beak app allows the public access to African short stories from published and unpublished authors. Well, here to tell us more is co-founder of Book Beak, that's Kamogelo Sesing. Kamogelo, good morning. And thanks for your time this morning. So tell us about Book Beak. What's the idea behind it? How did you come up with it?
So Book Beak is essentially an app that aggregates content from African short story writers, and we upload it on our platform, and it's immediately made available to an international subscriber base. I think where we really kind of saw the need for Book Beak was there was this rising need for parents to kind of have this content available to their children that felt a little bit more representative, or where kids could kind of identify with the characters. So yeah, that was the idea that sparked it, and it's been going well.
So what does the app actually allow you to do? Does it, you download stories, you have these stories, you still have to read them to your child? Or is there somebody reading them to your child?
Yes, yeah.
I'm asking as a mum who, is falling asleep before my children.
No, fantastic. No, so there's a couple of platforms that you can engage with on the app itself. So it's kind of split into three. So there's the children aspect of it, there's the adult aspect of it, and then there's a really great feature called Create Your Own, where you can basically kind of create your own little African short story by replacing your kid's name with the actual main character's kid's name. Yeah.
Okay.
So it becomes very personal.
Or you use one of these existing stories and just
100%. So you can basically replace your kid's name with the main character's name. So it becomes something really personal that they can identify with. In terms of the things that you can kind of engage with, there's the audio version, there's audio books, there is EPUB, so basically where you kind of read to your kid. And there's also like a mixed media where you can read, but also you can kind of engage with like some sound effects. For instance, if you say the lion roars and you can press play and then the lion actually does roar, it becomes a little bit more engaging.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, normally you have to go look for all of these things separately if you want to, different types of books, and it's all in one.
100%.
So why African stories? When we say African stories, are we talking about what, old fables, new stories? What kinds of stories would I find on there?
Yeah. African Stories 1, I'll answer that first question, is because we feel like generally, globally, there's this growing desire to kind of, for people to kind of connect with African content. Number two, we wanted to kind of create content that the people that we're talking to could identify with. Okay. In terms of the kind of content we're talking about, we are talking about folklore, so stories that have been told since time immemorial. Number one. Number two, urban folklores. For instance, we've got a fantastic story. I don't know if anybody remembers the urban myth of Pinky Pinky, but we've got a writer who basically recontextualized that entire story and turned it into something, into a children's tale that is very, very adorable about two kids called Zoe and Azania who defeated the pink monster using bravery and magic. So what used to be an urban myth has now turned into this beautiful, adorable story that has these learning for kids.
So how do you decide what stories get on there? Who makes that decision as to what gets onto the app?
So we do, and we go through a vetting process.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that is at the core of Book Beak is that our ethos is very simple. Everybody's a storyteller. That's what we believe. And this platform was created with the idea of democratizing storytelling. Anybody can tell a story. Obviously, we have to be very sensitive to the fact that there could be unsavory content in some stories. So what we do is we do vet them, we do read them ourselves, and if there's anything that kind of stands out that's not in line with our views and our values, we do flag it, we do tell the writer to please amend it. If not, then, unfortunately, we're not the platform for it.
So also a very nice platform for people who want to try out story writing, those who've had no luck getting published elsewhere, because you do have unpublished authors here as well, if I remember correctly. So a nice opportunity for them to not have to go the big route.
100%.
And do this here.
100%. And I think this is, for us, this is another amazing thing about Book Beak. There's a social aspect to it from an impact point of view. So not only are we open in the sense that we allow anybody to really give us their stories and we upload them, but we also enter into a revenue sharing model. So we charge our subscribers a certain amount of money, and the money that we get, we actually share with the content contributors, those storytellers that are coming from, you know, all corners of South Africa and eventually all corners of Africa.
That's my next question, is when are you going to extend this and when is that going to happen?
Yeah. We're actually engaging with some writers in Somalia as we speak right now.
Wonderful.
Starting to get stories from the rest of the continent, obviously with the view of kind of going global. But yeah, so the beautiful thing about Book Beak is this idea that we're able to create revenue for people that never had the opportunity to actually monetize their storytelling talents before. And that's really why we feel like a lot of people are gravitating towards the platform and sharing their stories with us on a daily basis.
I think it's wonderful. Okay, so how much would it cost me a month this?
59 Rand a month.
59 Rand a month.
59 Rand a month, and you have all the
new stories coming in all the time.
100%.
Also. That's fantastic. So you've already kind of launched. You've tested the waters very quickly. How's that been going so far? What's been the response? Yeah,
so we did a soft launch about a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and then we did an official launch just a week and a half ago. And the uptake has been fantastic. I think when you have something like this that is, number one, very accessible in the sense that it is an app platform, but number two, really resonates with people in terms of what their views and values are. You're bound to basically kind of like hit the mark. And we've had a tremendous amount of downloads. I think we're sitting in the region of about 1,500 at the moment. That's split between iOS and Android, and that's growing every single day. And obviously, the more content that we get, the bigger the subscriber base is going to be.
Wonderful. So Book Beak, it is for readers and writers. If you want to try your hand at writing and you want to test the waters and see how people respond to your writing, also an opportunity there. Thank you very much. Good luck. We'll be watching out for this.
That's
Kamogelo Sesing, he's co-founder of the Book Beak app.